All right, so this is your Chapter 8 test review. We're working problems that are specific to your test. And so it's a great idea to write these down and to keep them and use it to study. This video is on YouTube also, so you can go back and re-watch it. And I would highly suggest that you do that as you're working on your quiz corrections. All right, that would be a really, really good idea. Okay, so in the first section of your test, it's a true-false section that deals with whether or not numbers are written in scientific notation or can be written in scientific notation. For example, 104 million. If I were to put this number into a statement, something like 104 million can be written in scientific notation. Is that a true statement or a false statement? It is a true statement, of course. Yes, I can write 104 million in scientific notation, so I would say true. Okay, so you answer the second one. Could I write this number in scientific notation?
Yes.
So you would say true.
True.
Okay. Now, what about number 3? Is this number written in scientific notation on number 3? Okay.
Yes.
What do you think? Okay, so why would you say no? Why would you say no, Elizabeth?
Because you have to have only one place
Mm-hmm.
before the decimal.
So this number right here, so she said the decimal's in the wrong place, which is true, but what is true about the value? It's greater than 10. Okay, so that's why the decimal's in the wrong place, yes. But to say, yeah, that number, it's out of the range. In order for it to be in scientific notation, it has to be greater than 1 and less than 10. All right, so now I want you to write this product as a power, okay? So we're specifically asking you to write the product as a power. And go ahead and do that. Okay, so 5 to the 5th power, x to the
3 power.
yeah, 3rd power, and y to the 2nd power, or squared, yes. All right, no dots, no spaces, just write the product as a power. All right, number 5. I want you to simplify the expression. Go ahead and simplify the expression. All right, anybody think they know the answer?
Yeah.
Lily? No, Sarah?
A to the 3rd.
Yes, because it is 6 plus negative 3, which is 6 minus 3, so it's a to the 3rd power. A to the 3rd power. All right, number 6. Okay, number 6, this was similar to, I'm looking for it on your quiz. It looks like it was similar to number 2 on your quiz. Okay, I want you to go ahead and simplify the expression. Can I reduce the numbers 4 over 8? Okay, so you must reduce that to 1/2. And then what you're doing with your A's, and guys, this is something that I think people are getting confused about. When you subtract your exponents, you're bringing it into the numerator. Okay, so this is a to the 3rd power over 2. Okay, there is no a in the bottom. You're not leaving an a in the bottom. You actually subtracted them, and the leftovers are in the numerator. There's nothing in the denominator. 1a to the 3rd over 2. All right, now let's do this problem, number 7. Go ahead and try to simplify it. I raise a power to a power. What am I doing? Multiplying 3 to the 24th power. 3 to the 24th power. All right, number 8. Number 8, negative 6 to the 2nd power. So there's still some confusion about when my answer is positive and when my answer is negative. It has everything to do with the parentheses. Okay, so let's go ahead and evaluate this. Okay, is my answer positive 36 or negative 36?
Negative.
See what I'm saying? Okay, it is negative because the negative, guys, if I had done this, it changes the answer.
36.
Okay, so because the negative is not in the parentheses, we say 6 squared, which is 36, and then my answer is all automatically going to be negative. Okay? All right, do you see the difference? Okay, so again, those parentheses mean that that negative is locked into the base, and then it's negative 6 times negative 6. That would change your answer. All right? Any questions on that? Okay, number 9. 1/4 raised to the 3rd power. Go ahead and evaluate that. There's some confusion when it's a fraction, what we do, so hopefully we can clear that up. Okay, so here's what this means, guys. This means 1 times 1 times 1 over 4 times 4 times 4. You're doing the numerator and denominator to the 3rd power. You're raising it, okay? So 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. Not 3, okay? So that's where our minds kind of go on autopilot and we think, oh, it's 3. No, it's not. It's 1. And then 4 times itself 3 times? 64. We don't even have to multiply that out, right? We have that one memorized because we've seen it so many times. Okay, number 10. Okay, so number 10, this one was similar to number 6 on your quiz. This one was one of our higher missed problems. Okay, so let's go over this one. So what do you notice about the numbers in the fraction? What do you notice? Okay, there's 2 separate terms, right? But we have 6 for a base in the numerator and denominator. So same base, what can we do to our exponents? Subtract them, okay? So here's what's happening when we do that. We are bringing the exponent into the numerator, okay? And subtracting it. So it's 6 to the 7th power minus 4, and it's x to the 2nd power minus 5. All right, I feel like I need to show it to you in this way. It's not that you necessarily have to show this step on the test, but you need to see that this is what we're doing here, is we're bringing these exponents up into the numerator and subtracting them. Okay, so 7 minus 4 is 3, and 2 minus 5, negative 3. Okay, so this cannot be my final answer because I cannot have a negative exponent.
Yeah.
So what do I need to do?
To put x to and
Flip it.
Yes, very good. Do I need to move the whole term to the denominator?
no.
No, only the x. Okay, so I have 6 to the 3rd power over x to the 3rd power. 6 times 6 times 6? 216. Okay. Over x to the 3rd. Hopefully that's making a little more sense and you could correct it on your quiz and get it right on your test tomorrow. All right, number 11. Okay, so this one was one of our higher missed questions because I had most of the people who missed this wrote 2b to the 3rd. Okay, if it was like this problem, 2b to the 3rd in the bottom, but you've got to recognize, guys, all right, b to the 7th, you're going to rewrite it. But when it's more than one term in parentheses, those parentheses make all the difference. If they weren't there, yeah, it's 2b to the 3rd. Are you paying attention? But because it's in parentheses, that means 2 to the 3rd power, b to the 3rd power. And what is 2 to the 3rd power? 2 times 2 times 2.
8.
8. 8b to the third power. So many people put 2b to the third power because they forgot that you're actually supposed to raise each term inside the parentheses. Again, if there's no parentheses, it's 2b to the third power. But because there's parentheses, that means I raise each term inside to the third power. That's something that most of you got right on your last test, but maybe we just, forgot. Okay, so we just need to be reminded. All right, so now when I have exponents with the same base, what can I do? Subtract 7 minus 3. B to the fourth power over 8. Okay? And so hopefully we can correct that on the quiz. All right, number 12. Okay. Number 12, let's multiply. What do we see as the first thing that we could do here to simplify? What can we do? You can add the exponents, but what can you do with the numbers? You can multiply them, right? So I had some people think, oh, I need to add my exponents. That means I need to add my numbers too, and they did 2 plus 5. We don't do that. We multiply our numbers. 2 times 5 is 10. And then you're right. I need to add my exponents. Negative 3 plus negative 11. Negative 14. Negative 14. Okay? So now this is not my final answer because I can't have a negative exponent. So Eric, what would you write in your answer?
You would put 10 over x to the 14th.
Okay, 10 over x to the 14th power. Did anybody get this right? Did you guys get this right? Okay, any questions? Any questions? You see what we're doing here? Okay. All right, next problem. You guys ready? Okay. All right, so now we're going to add in scientific notation. There's a couple things we need to check for. Go ahead and write this down. If you feel like you know the next step, go ahead and start working through it. And we'll talk about it in just a minute. Okay, so I'm adding. So what's the first thing I need to check for when I'm adding or subtracting? Check for my exponents to be the same. Are they the same? They're both 6. So because they're both the same, I can do what with my decimals? Add them together, okay? So 2.2 is 9.6 is 11.8. Now, is this my final answer?
No.
Is it my final answer? Why would I say no? This
1.18.
Yeah, what is it? It's more than 10, right? So I can move my decimal left one place, and what happens with my exponent? No, not decreases, but increases by 1. 10 to the 7th power. All right, did anybody get that right? Okay, and I know I was walking around and saw several. So that's very similar to what you're going to see on your test tomorrow. You actually have 4 questions in the operations part of scientific notation on your test. Okay? Okay, now let's do a multiplication one. So this one is very similar to number 17 on your quiz yesterday. Number 17 on your quiz yesterday was, again, a problem that I just saw a lot of mistakes happening. So I just want to hopefully help you guys kind of clear that up. Okay, so go ahead and write this down. A lot of you might know what to do. Let's see how far we can get, and then we'll go over the problem. We, walking around, we talked about what numbers can I group together that would actually be easily multiplied. And you guys said what?
6, 7.
6 and 7. Okay?
42.
Yes, very good. And then I could group my powers of 10 together. And then I could simplify those exponents. What's 2 minus 5? What was it? Sorry, I put it up there too soon. What was it? 2 minus 5 is... 2 minus 5 is negative 3. But this is not my final answer.
42.
Okay, because why?
We use
Focus up
it
here.
is over 10.
Okay, because that number, right, Mason? It's over 10. So what can I do? Someone raise your hand and tell me. Okay, what can I do, Jace?
Move the decimal to the left once to add one on the exponent. It'll be 4.2.
Very good. So I can move my decimal, he's saying, to the left one place to make it 4.2. And when that happens, I increase my exponent value by the same number to make -2. Okay? And that's how you would do a multiplication problem. All right? How are we doing? Clearing some of this up? Okay, number 15. We've got just a couple problems left, and then we'll work on correcting your quiz problems. Okay, so here we see subtraction, so you know what to check for. And let's make sure everything is lined up before we subtract. Wait, sorry, hold on. Let me switch it around. The first one should be to the 4th power, the second one should be to the 3rd power.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Otherwise, it ends up being negative, and we don't want that. Okay, so write it down this way now, and let's go ahead and try to solve it. Okay, so we notice with addition and subtraction, we have to make sure of what? We have to make sure that what? The exponents are the same. Are they the same here? No, they are not. So I need to, which one do I need to change?
First one.
The 3 up to a 4. Okay. So Maya, when I raise the exponent to a 4 on the second one,
0 points.
okay, I'm calling on her. Okay. All right. What would happen to my decimal value?
Decimal to the left.
Very good. How many times? 1 time. And you would get 0.34 times 10 to the 4th power. Okay. And Trey, what would I want to do now?
Subtract 8.2 from 0.34.
Very good. 8.2 minus 0.34. It's really important that we line up our decimals here. And Ethan, what would go above the 4 when I subtract?
0.
A 0. Very good. And I can start borrowing. 7.86. All right. Times 10 to the 4th power. Okay. All right. Now, the last two, guys, are just a simple review of writing a number in scientific notation. Let's go ahead and do number 16. I just want to review one small thing here, mistake that I saw a couple times on the quiz yesterday. Is my exponent going to be positive or negative?
Negative.
Okay, it is going to be negative. So 3.6 times 10 to the negative 6th power. All right, number 17. 5.23 times 10 to the 8th power. I want you to write that in standard form. Elizabeth, how many zeros do I need in my number, and where do they need to go?
7 and after 3.
Okay, you're correct on after the 3, but how many zeros do I need, Sarah?
6.
I need 6 zeros because I already had 2 decimal places, so now 6 more zeros after the 3, and then don't forget to put in your commas, okay? I had a couple people lose some points over commas on the quiz, and on the test you have to make sure they're there. If you understand that, you really should be very well prepared for your test tomorrow.